All right, everyone. Thanks for being here. It's Ali Naseem at eFlux. We are an innovation partner, if you will, for NetSuite, not an implementation partner. So the question I put forward here for all of us to imagine a scenario where everyone, and by that I mean everyone within your company who has any subject matter expertise in any area could actually co-create solutions themselves. That's what we're going to be talking about. And that's what we're going to try and actually experience within this session. It turns out I've written a book on this called Innovation Agility. The idea is how you can innovate with an extreme agility, where your subject matter expertise can be translated into a fully functional, integrated solution that talks to not just your ERP, but across the multi-cloud. Like if you have 5 systems you use and a NetSuite, maybe a finance guy can actually build an application that works across devices, across all form factors, fully integrated, fully compliant, inheriting all the business logic you already have, both standard and custom, inside of your NetSuite. That's a challenge I'm throwing for all of us to see if we can do that within this session. Actually create an application that does it. And just like I said, using the subject matter experience. And we're going to talk about some framework that's going to help us do it. Just so that you know, a company like Emirates Airlines, this is like the 5th largest airline in the world. Their flight catering division serves like 150 plus airlines, and which is like 240,000 meals a day. There's a huge warehouse in Dubai that does it. In 7 days, the subject matter experts working along with IT were able to launch 7 applications, which went live within those 7 days. That's the power we're talking about. And that's where this whole idea of combining no code and AI kind of comes in. So now you kind of understand where it's not just a technology talk here, it's more about a paradigm shift we're going to be talking about. How you can use the power of no code and AI and come up with solutions like these. Now, let's take a look at what happens. And this is something we've all been culprit of because we never had a better option, is how we build applications, especially the custom application. Because if you think about that, unless you customize, unless you differentiate, you don't have any competitive advantage. Your ERP is not your competitive advantage. Your middleware is not your competitive advantage. Your competitive advantage really is the end user experiences that you create, right? That's where you differentiate, right? In order to do that, you have to customize. Now, the problem that happens when you customize over time, years, decades, you start accumulating a lot of technical debt. And that technical debt not just get accumulated, it gets spread across the whole architecture, as you can see here. Some custom logic going to be sitting inside your NetSuite scripts. Some is going to be sitting in your middleware. Some is going to be sitting inside of your portal somewhere or a mobile app that you've created. So it's kind of a messy scenario we're talking about. Your business logic becomes silo, right? Your fragmented business logic, compliance becomes hard. Data silos start to appear. Your system of truth becomes unrecognizable at some point. There's cumbersome development, and basically, Jacob mentioned all the different ways you can find that help, but still we're talking about multiple types of skills that are required. You have to pay a lot of money to do that. And you have to then support multiple devices, which becomes an ongoing maintenance nightmare, right? That's the reality of how we've been operating, how we've been customizing our ERPs, customizing or building our enterprise applications. Now let's challenge that with this whole approach of no-code enterprise automation. How can we use no-code and AI to actually, first of all, suck in everything our ERP is supposed to have. And not just call the APIs directly, but rather have an engine that can make those APIs very declarative, very visual for a subject matter expert. Somebody who's an expert in order to cash, somebody who's an expert in supply chain, using their experience and the subtleties and the nuances of your business, because they understand that really well. If you can make them play with AI and no code to actually build solutions is what we're talking about here. You still create differentiated experiences, but you don't essentially create them through code. So you reverse that whole notion, right? Minimum to zero technical debt. And like I said, I'm throwing a challenge. We're going to do it in this session. There's a live demo where literally you can use it on your phone and application we're going to build together. You inherit your ERP business logic. So it works at a metadata level, right? You, instead of calling API directly, you're getting all the metadata and all the meta API. So you don't have business logic silo. Real time, imagine a real time back and forth between your system of records, not just NetSuite, but any system of record that you use that can be available in your system of engagement. Now low code, no code is a whole terminology of drag and drop application. It has been around for decades. Visual Fox Pro was no code in a sense, right? Visual Basic was that. The problem always been that there's always a code behind it. The whole notion of citizen developer, you know it, I know it. Either you are a developer or you're not a developer, right? You can be like this whole low code, no code thing is kind of a confusion, to be honest, right? And we're going to try and challenge. So just using your functional knowledge, never written a code ever, or you don't even understand the terminology of what exception handling is or what event handling is, can you actually build an application enterprise grade, which is device agnostic and hence requires minimum maintenance? Now let's take a look at how that's going to happen. Now, obviously you have your NetSuite, which is your workhorse, does a lot of good things. It's your system of record. It's your system of transactions. Then you have the REST services, right? The Suite Talk or REST APIs. And as you know that NetSuite is pushing hard for you to get to the REST APIs as opposed to the SOAP APIs, which is in line with this whole mindset if you think about that, right? Because these are much faster, much chattier, as opposed to heavy payloads of XML that go back and forth on your SOAP. So once you have that REST API layer on top, then you have the orchestration layer. Like that could be your integration workflows. That could be different tools out there that you have. And then on top of it, you have the no-code enterprise automation layer. Now that layer can directly talk to the APIs or it can talk through the orchestration layer. But it doesn't stop here. Even if it stopped here, what we're talking about, a subject matter expert, a business analyst, somebody who's never done programming but understands the business really well, be able to create mobile, tablet, scanning applications, web portals, just using the functional knowledge without even a programmer involved. At this layer, you could do that already, but it goes beyond. It goes to the multi-cloud layer. A unified user experience across your NetSuite and 10 other systems that you use, using, again, just the subject matter expertise, and then build applications whatever you want, like warehouse applications, warehouse mobility applications, or field sales and approval type applications, your self-service applications for customers, suppliers, employees, and then an end-to-end agentic automation we talk about. So that's the challenge I'm throwing right here, and we're going to try and build an application and an AI agent just by talking to the system. This is where Swift comes in. So Swift is a platform that basically does that, right? App and agent automation platform that can create all these different applications, and the business analyst can actually do that. To build mobile tablet scanner apps, web apps and portals, AI agents, all auto-integrated. And that auto is in caps. Auto-integrated, it's not even an afterthought. As you build it, it's integrated and can be made by the SMEs, right? So it's made for NetSuite in the sense that it understands the NetSuite really, really well, as we'll see in the demo. Very VA-friendly to build it. Very user-friendly to use it. SOC 2 Type 2 certified, SOX compliance. Because all those things are critical, right? When you talk about agility, you cannot compromise compliance. So it's always have had a trade-off, right? Oh, I have to be compliant. It's going to take 4 months. I have to be agile. So it's going to be a shadow IT. You know, those debates we've always had, right? How do we break that and combine it all together is what we're going to be doing it right here. Now, let's take it from a different view as well. Like this whole idea of a no-code app automation. I mean, why do I need another platform or another layer of this new stuff that you're trying to position here? When I already have a system of record, I've spent a lot of time on my NetSuite to perfect it the way I wanted it. Then I also have a system of integration, right? Maybe I also have a business process layer. I also have this Gen AI coming into the whole mix. So I'm already overwhelmed. Why would I need another thing here, right? The reason you need this layer is not because you are going to add more technology. It's there because you want to leverage what you already have. You want to leverage your ERP. You want to leverage your system of integration. You want to leverage the LLMs. But this orange box is the most critical one. This is where you differentiate. The system of engagement. You cannot outsource that to anyone. You cannot give your end user experiences, your supplier experiences, your employee experiences, your customer experiences. That is where it really matters. You cannot go out and say, I'm the best retailer because I use this ERP. No, you never say that, right? You always say, I provide the best customer experience, right? So that's what we're going to challenge here, that's the layer that you should have in your hands of your subject matter expert to be able to create by not coding, but rather inheriting. And then there's pre-built set of applications that let's assume you have in your portfolio that you can pick and choose, use, enhance, and customize. And that's exactly what we're going to do here. Now, you might think this is a concept too good to be true, right? 5 years back, it was. When we launched it mid-COVID, companies were saying, yeah, this sounds great. Our business analyst is going to do all of this. we'll talk when others are using it. Now we're at a point where companies in the north of 30 billion plus revenue are using it, and it's being used across the globe, right? Every continent, we have partners across the globe using it. Now let's see if this is real, or if it's just some excitement I'm building for no reason. So what I'm going to do here, and you are free to actually participate in it. As I build an application, you're going to actually use it on your own phones, right, from scratch. So what I'm going to do here, this is the designer. This is that no code plus AI designer I'm talking about. You have different applications, different users, different transactions, and different channels. Now, channels is any system that Swift connects you to the channel. NetSuite being one of the key channels, one of the key connectors. Now, all you do is you just provide your account ID to it, your credentials to it, and that's it. It basically sucks in all the metadata. It sucks in all the meta APIs. It understands your custom records as well. And then you can also connect to any system of record, right? You can have Salesforce, your ServiceNows, your Shopify's, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And you can do that just by talking to the AI as well. So you could actually talk. I want to create an integration between my NetSuite and Salesforce. It's going to actually create a connector for you automatic using AI, just by going out, understanding the documentation of the API and doing it. But let's get there in a moment. Let's first start and try and create an application. So first, just to kind of give you an idea of what sort of applications we're talking about here, right? So we're talking about applications that are fully functional. I don't know if you can see this one right here. So it's fully responsive, fully functional. It's going to work on your iPhone, on your Android, on your Honeywell scanners, everywhere. So it's not like an application that you have to create for each device separate. So this is just an example of one sales order application. I'm going to show you how easy you can build an application, which is a field sales applications connected with not just with NetSuite, but also with Salesforce or 500 systems together within one user experience, where you can navigate through your sales orders, where you can navigate through all the data set. I'm going to just sign in back in. So can you give you an idea? All these widgets that you see here, all the drill down that I'm going to do inside of it, all the sales orders that I'm going to take a look at, all of this is designed in a completely no-code fashion, right? The whole look and feel, the integration and everything. So let's actually design a new application and take a look. So I'm going to create a NERD Dallas sales app for us. I'm going to give it a name. I could invite other subject matter experts as part of building this application, but I'm going to just keep it simple. I'm going to create this app. It's going to take me to this app designer. I could drag and drop any of these widgets. I could even connect a third-party a BI tool like a Power BI or anything else right within it. But let's first take a look at the forms. I'm looking at the list of type of NetSuite forms I can create, right? Starting with a find and browse form. A find and browse form is any search form that I want to create. Now, typically what you're going to do is you're going to do a lot of programming, right? If you were to create a mobile app for it, you're going to call the API, do all that event handling. Just see how easy that's going to be here. All I need, all your NetSuite modules, which category, what entity. It's going to actually pull based on your NetSuite, because you've connected with your NetSuite. It's going to pull I'm going to give it a name, sales orders, click submit. It's going to load from your NetSuite, and it's going to create that application right in front of your eyes, right? So this is all the fields that you have in that particular form inside of your NetSuite. Even if you had custom fields, you would have pulled all of it. All I need to do is just drag and drop. If I want to rearrange the fields, if I want to put some search criteria, anything that I want to do is just all drag and drop. If I want to make anything configurable scanning, I select the barcode, QR code. It just automatically, it starts working on my phone with those field criteria. So just by few clicks, not even a few clicks, I've just imported an existing functionality of my NetSuite, right? I already have an app ready to go. And that app can work inside of a container on an Android, on an iPhone. I could pull up a barcode here. You can scan it on your phone. It's going to start working on your phone. So feel free to do that if you want to follow along. Because as I make the changes, those changes are going to reflect instantly. No builds, no deployments, no compilation. Only thing I'm going to do is give rights to a particular user. Now, you can give rights directly to your NetSuite users. So you're going to pull your NetSuite security, NetSuite users. I could give them right directly. No saving of password of your NetSuite here. You can instantly log in with your NetSuite users. Or for external users, that's your customer, supplier, you could actually create Swift users and can map them through a proxy. So you can have the best of both worlds. You can have your NetSuite security, as well as you can define your own users. You can have your own attributes on top of it. For example, one person works in a certain department, you want to have that parameter. Maybe that parameter doesn't exist in your NetSuite. You can create those as attributes as well. I'm going to keep it simple. I'm going to just give the sales application to a sales user. Now I can use this application either as and it's going to be just one enterprise-wide portal that you can have. You're not going to have multiple application URLs. You can have them separately. And again, I decide if I want to log in with and this kind of gives you, they automatically get activated. This Dallas fund that we're just creating right now. Once I click on sales orders, in the real time, it's going to pull all the sales orders coming in from NetSuite. You see, it already brought, right? So it brought in sort of a lot of records here. I was pulling it. Now I have it's all in my control, right? So I can go in there and then say, you know what? I don't like a grid view. I would rather have a card view, which is better for my phone. And then I don't want to see so many fields there. I maybe want to see some 5 fields. I want to maybe change the background color. I can literally pull up a popular website, drag drop the color. No need for chasing the designer, going to a developer, integrating all of that together. Just do all of that on your own. When I go back here, changes instantly start reflecting, right? And the same change is going to start reflecting on your phone view, on your tablet view, any and every way that you want to use the iPhone, and it's going to auto adjust itself, so you don't have to worry about how it's going to look on each device. Now, the same concept applies for another type of form. Right? Now, you might say this is a dumb report or just a search form, right? What do I do with that? Now, there's another type of form we call a view action form, where you can drill in a certain record, take all sorts of actions in it. Again, super simple to build it. I'm going to just select again which module. I just need to have the functional knowledge, like I said. Which module, which entity. I'm going to hit import. What it's going to do is its magic. It's going to read all the metadata. It's going to read all the API structure. It's going to create all the user experience for me. And not just that, it automatically integrates it back to the relevant keys of the API. All done. It's one click. Now it's up to me. I delete the field that I don't want. Nothing breaks. I keep all the fields. If I keep scrolling down, you'll see it has loaded the whole object, like whole structure of the sales order, not just the header, but all the line items, grids, everything. If I keep scrolling down, you see this? It also knew that there's an item grid on that particular form. Hence, on the API, automatically picked it up. Now I can customize it at every level. So it just gets everything to me, and that at every control level, I have a full control of how I customize it without any programming again, just visual, right? And now, if I want to connect these two forms together, the form I created first, this one, and the other form that I'm creating now, I would definitely like to connect them, right? So that if I search for a sales order, that I want to take action on the sales order, maybe I want to do a print pick slip on it or whatever other functionality, right? I'm going to go here. Just notice how easily I'm going to be doing it. In a non-Swift world, what you're going to do is call an event, call an API, get back a JSON, parse it through, create an HTML, slap it onto the HTML, make sure everything is formatted correctly. Let's see what we're going to do here. All I'm going to say is view order or whatever name I want to give it. I'm going to select an icon, the form. It automatically knows what parameters to pass, what to map. I'm going to say show it to me on the card. I also want to have a swipe functionality for it. Save it. I go back here. All I do is refresh my app form. So this is the kind of UAT we do. Like we do it implementation and UAT at their lead, right? And people who understand that really, really well are the ones actually co-creating it with us. So it just makes it's a complete paradigm shift, right? Of how solutions can be done. Instead of accumulating technical debt, writing Swift scripts, that's broken, this broken, right? And especially with the NetSuite upgrade, you know how the Swift scripts behave, right? Nothing of that here. All integrated, right? And then everything, all I need to do is publish the changes. I didn't publish the changes on that one. So it's full version control, right? So it's not that you just push up to. So it's not bypassing any of the compliance, the track and trace, or the segregation of duty of who's making those changes. It's like I said, it's SOX compliant and SOX compliant as well. In this case, I'm pulling the whole sales order. Obviously, you're not going to do that. You're going to trim out a lot of fields. So it just comes in within a split second. I've just loaded everything on there. It's going to take a little bit more. It's actually faster than when you run NetSuite on the web interface. So we really optimize the user experience and we really take in only the stuff we need from it. You see this? Like all the sales order line item, all the line items are here. Everything is integrated already, right? It's as simple as that. If you want to throw in like a lot of people would like to maybe a receipt, right? Maybe a salesperson is delivering the order, they want to take an e-signature. All you do is throw in the e-signature control. You want to take a picture, throw in the camera control. You want to call a button, right? To maybe change the status. Now just see how easy that's going to be. On the button, all I'm going to do is select NetSuite, select what module and entity I'm looking at. is going to automatically have all the actions that can be performed on that type of an entity in my NetSuite. Insert, update, even the custom ones, right? If I select any one of them, it's going to automatically map all the fields, the primary key, all the other fields. If I don't want to update any part of it, I just delete it and that's gone. And it's all functional, right? Now it goes beyond it. So if it were just NetSuite, like I said, the blue circle I was showing you, that would be pretty cool already, right? Would you agree? But it goes beyond to the multi-cloud, right? Record or update a HubSpot record. Now, while I'm manipulating my NetSuite data, I want to call the HubSpot. I could simply select HubSpot as a channel and a collection of HubSpot. If I want to do a full-blown, like a workflow, I don't want to call each separate functions separately, but in the workflow, let's say, does 4 different things. Like it calls my Salesforce, it fetches my opportunity from Salesforce, update my NetSuite sales order, and it also sends me a push notification. So I can do all of those things. I could send a push notification from here. I decide which person this push notification goes to. I decide what the navigation looks like. Like if I'm going to tap on this push notification on my phone, where do I want them to land? Maybe it's a preview approval. I want to have them land. So it just completely changes the whole paradigm of how you envision building applications and the workflows. The best part is both are integrated. You don't need a separate Power Apps and a separate business process workflow automation tool, both embedded together, right? And then you can have any of these workflows, you can provide a webhook for them. So any of these workflows that you see here, I could create a secure webhook against them, and I could publish it to a third party. For example, my Shopify developer, once the order gets captured, needs to trigger a workflow, and the workflow needs to make an entry in my NetSuite as a sales order, and also needs to notify my warehouse to prepare the order for their ship confirmation or whatever app that you build for them, and then also needs to send an email confirmation to the customer. I don't need separate system. I just need one swift flow and user experiences created. So you kind of start realizing the value here, right, of no code. Now let's talk about AI, because that's the hot topic, right? Now the problem is, and I'm sure you've at least explored or at least heard about all the different code generators, AI-based code generation, right? Have you guys heard about that? Replets and Claude and cursors and, you can generate code. Now the problem is, if you're going to use AI to generate code, you're going to create technical debt at an AI speed. Who's going to own that code, right? And the moment you're going to think, answers, as AI would not know what you already have in your NetSuite. AI would not know what you customize in your NetSuite, right? So think of it like a vector database of your own metadata structure. So when you do an AI-based code generation, you're sitting on top of also technical debt. But when you combine AI with no code, this is the power you're going to get. You can talk to this AI. I can literally talk to this AI and say, I want to create an integration between my NetSuite and Brex and Salesforce and Syndigo. I could say it right here. And it's going to automatically create the workflow for me. It's going to create these channels that I had created manually. For example, the Salesforce channel, that created the collections here manually. It is going to go ahead, read the documentation from LLM, automatically create the collections for me. And again, it's a no code, because now I can use it to actually build stuff in the applications and the forms that I was showing you. It can even build those forms for me. But it goes beyond. Now, this whole idea of Agent Studio, right? We all talk about agents, and agents, right? The problem is, unless the agent is sitting on a solid foundation, that agent's going to get stuck in that puddle of technical debt as well, right? Now, let's see how beautifully we can build agents. Like, think of an AI building AI agents on top of a solid no-code foundation. Now, there's a way of manually doing it as well. Like, I could create a sales order automation agent. I can give it a persona, give it the guardrails. I can give it a design. I can give it some knowledge base that can have like my own policies for my sales order return policy, whatever other nuances, right? My context. But the brain of it is the agent's flow, where there are 2 key concepts here: an intelligent node and an action node. Simple as that. Intelligent node is where you provide the meta prompts. Think of them as an English that you write to help AI understand the user's intent, right? So a prompt to understand the prompt. This is where your subject matter expertise comes in, right? This is where your nuances of a supply chain person or a salesperson who understands your business better than anybody else can is going to write this part. But let's see but we all can get into a writer's block, don't we? It's hard to start on a blank page, right? let's take a look at how AI is going to build AI. So I'm going to create an agent. Instead of building it on my own, I'm going to say, and I can by the way use Juice with it as well. But just imagine, I'm going to say, this is how business thinks, right? Business doesn't give you the specs. They just give you the frustrations. They tell you where they're stuck right now, right? So just imagine brainstorming with AI and telling it, I'm looking to create, or maybe I'm looking to optimize our procurement process, and we use NetSuite and Amazon Business Staples Health. I'm going to hit create. Now, based on this initial brain dump I've given it, right, just by frustration that I've heard, it's going to go out, look out for, is there an Amazon Business API available? It understands my NetSuite really well, as you already saw, right? And then it's going to automatically create these intelligent nodes as well as the action nodes. So intelligent nodes, for example, is create PO for Amazon Business, create get PO status from NetSuite, search products from Amazon Business, right? So these are actions that the workflows, the swift flows that we had created earlier, right? Or I could call any channel from here. I could create a HubSpot channel or whichever channel I created the forms. I could connect it to the forms. Now, the other question and the big debate, and I'm going to end it at this point, this whole big debate we have about whether agents going to eat the apps or agents are just going to become a checkbox in any SaaS software, right? This whole debate if SaaS is outdated now, right? Big claim, right? The agent's going to eat everyone's business, all that we've been grown to like and make money off. Now, what we allow you to do is have a choice. Either you can embed these agents that you're creating inside of your app or have the agent work standalone. So for example, this agent, if I just publish it right here, I could start using that agent right away as a standalone agent. I'm going to start working nicely on my desktop or on my phone. Or I could embed that same agent inside of an existing application, start working and sitting nicely inside of an application. The choice is yours, whether you get the agent and app together, and the choice is your end users, whether they want to graduate into starting using agents or they want to more point and click. So with that, I hope I've made the point of how an SME powered by no code and AI can actually create solutions that are really going to solve their problems. And the adoption, because innovation is plenty, right? As you all know, adoption is the key. So the operators become innovators, adoption becomes automatic. So with that, I'll end my speech. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ali. I really appreciate that. That's awesome.